Всем привет, с вами Сherlok, и мы будем играть в игру под названием Sherlok Holmes Crime and Punishment. Да. И будем сейчас мы играть дело под названием Судьба Черного Пита. Вроде так это называлось. И вот наш знаменитый Холмс. И сидит в футе. С револьвером почему-то. Шмаляет по собственному дому. Видать, очень расстроился чем-то. Холмс, прекратите. Я вам говорю, Холмс. Вы сумасшедший. Ой, сумасшедший ты мой.
Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only
Что
exercise
происходит
I've had
вообще?
all
Чего вы
week.
на меня
A grateful
взъелись, а?
client from Limoges.
Ну не на меня, на
Vase
Холмса.
collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am
Зачем
I
это
the
вам?
only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
Кто?
What have they done this
Веселые
time?
молодцы.
They robbed a
Молодцы,
powder.
веселые молодцы.
I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
Это ведь название
I should
какой-то
have Mrs.
организации,
Hudson
да?
here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Так. Нажмите журнал. Сведения о жертве.
I cannot leave yet. I am not finished here.
Чего ты тут не закончил? Раскрыть. А, видать, может одеться надо? Фермер. Бандюга. Светлый. Серый. Вон, надену серый. Я серый, поэтому наденем серый. Так, что тут еще есть? А, неважно, пойдемте уже. Газеты, письма. Миссис Хадсон. Все, погнали.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
А, ну, может, не знаю. Ну, наверное, туда надо топать. К тому парню. Ну и потопали. В смысле, нажмите. Опа. Круто, у него что, супер зрение есть? Теперь понятно, почему наш Холмс
These
такой Холмс.
footprints appear to be quite large.
Так.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Ух ты. Красивый сад.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Не знаю, зачем он это говорит, но скорее всего, да.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlok Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
Окей.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Опа, а это что такое за кнопочка? Во. Так, понял, он ее анализирует, да? Католик, она католик. Что еще можно посмотреть? Какие-то садовые перчатки, хохлатая синица, скворечник. Так.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Когда нашлось
Do you
тело?
remember
Скажите
at
мне
what
все,
time
что
you
знаете.
found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin
Как ты
door
вообще
was
смогла
open,
запомнить такое время?
but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... Oh dear.
Она что-то скрывает.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Да, семья неблагополучная.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Что-то не верится.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Откуда вы узнали о Плимуте? Для продолжения расследования найдите улику, которая опровергнет. Смотреть улики. Боже мой, может, паломничество?
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth.
Ух ты!
I believe
Ха,
that
круто,
you
я
met
правильно
Peter
сказал.
Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Спасибо, рад стараться.
Thank you, madam.
Извините, что испортил вам вечер, хотя ваш вечер и так был испорчен, вы же потеряли мужа. Ну, давайте, возможно, он походу тут лежит, я так понимаю?
Mr. Holmes. The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Эй, погоди-ка.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ой-ой-ой, что
What is
такое?
it, Lestrade?
Seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Дверь. Дверной замок.
These
Царапины.
scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Хватит уже рассуждать. Откройте эту гребаную дверь. Ох ты ж.
What a terrible way to die.
Нифига. Вы посмотрите, его гарпуном прибили к стене. Вау. Просто вау. Ну-ка. Сапоги.
Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8.
Во, я видел следы на улице. Может, это от этих сапог?
Old navigation instruments. Nothing interesting.
Так. Наверное, надо все осмотреть.
For hunting whale. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Наверное, надо здесь все осмотреть.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the...
Понял. Хотя нет, я что-то не понял. Давайте. Так. Смотрите, здесь какие-то след от пыли, вот.
This place is
Здесь
not
должно
covered with
что
rust,
тут
like the
что-то
rest of the
лежало,
ship.
и это украли
An object
или
was
взяли.
taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps. The tooth of a sperm whale.
Так, что тут еще лежит? Здесь мы осмотрели. Эй,
The Sea Unicorn.
морской
She was the
единорог.
ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Ну-ка, давайте стол осмотрим. Кисет.
The
Инициалы.
initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
Ну-ка.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Что? Ага. Понял. Надо в картинку как-то сделать это все в картинку. Да, это, наверное, будет сложно. Так. Ну-ка. Понял, это нос. Трубка — это нос. Трубка — это нос корабля. Хотя, знаете, давайте они сами это
This
сделают.
is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
Раз такое можно провернуть, потому что я вряд ли додумаюсь самостоятельно.
Someone drank from this glass recently.
Тут их два.
Rum, a sailor's drink. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
А как ты до этого догадался? Так, давайте осмотрим. Лужа крови. Блокнот какой-то. Блокнот.
The pattern.
Ну-ка.
JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook.
Ты ее открой.
These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Пригодится, да? Почему здесь морской нож?
This wooden handle is plain and solid. This
Лезвие.
blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
Да.
Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong.
Больше-то ничего не то, чтобы осмотреть.
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense.
А, во, все. Что значит кнопка Б? Так. Найдите пару связанных улик и получите дедуктивный вывод. Красный цвет означает, что вы неправильно сделали. Так. Попытка взлома и записная книжка. Больше, наверное, нету. Задача устроить засаду. Нужно устроить засаду сегодня и посмотреть, не повторится ли попытка взлома.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the...
Так, ну вроде здесь больше ничего нету, чтобы осмотреть, так что можно, в принципе, выйти и поговорить с инспектором.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oh,
Чуть не
you
понял.
lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
И, наверное, надо за дом заныкаться.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Ну давайте, давайте. Они тут целый день, что ли, сидели? Ну-ка, тут кто-нибудь идет? Я не...
Did you hear that?
Чего? Ага, попался!
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there.
Попался! Теперь ты под стражей, е-мое. Чё ты тут делал, м?
All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Да ты что?
And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here, waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough.
Скажешь это в
You can
суде,
explain all of that to the
мальчишка.
judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
И вы, конечно же, думаете,
You
что
are
на этом
welcome,
все,
Inspector.
типа, дело
But please don't
закончено,
be too
да?
hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Как бы не так, дело еще не окончено. Я надеюсь. А то так просто не может быть. Ух ты, какой красивый у них тут Скотланд-Ярд. Похоже, я ограничен в месте, куда могу пойти. А это такое? Опа.
These are the suspects
Это же его
in the
вещи.
notice.
Ну-ка, давайте.
Book that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean a pocket knife. It was used to force the a
Платок.
handkerchief with
Кольцо. Опа, смотрите.
from
От
R.
Р.
Dawson.
Даусона.
To my friend and partner, 1883.
1883.
I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
Ну-ка. Давайте-ка. Давайте-ка. Куда нам надо? Давайте-ка домой поедем. Я вроде помню, что вот где-то здесь были какие-то... Во! Даусон. Солидное золотое кольцо с гравировкой. Так. Раны и травмы, криминалистика. Знаки и символы.
That is not the one I need.
Так, что же это? Ой. Так, 1883 год. Нет, скорее всего. Да, Даусон, вот он. Так. Ага,
Here
и...
it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Ну-ка, надо прочитать, это я не понимаю. Так. Инвестиционный фонд Даусона и Неллигана, региональный банк Корнуэлла, объявил о банкротстве в результате серьезных потерь по кредитному портфелю и готовился к ликвидации. Это был 23-й по величине банк в Англии, а его банкротство второе по масштабам в истории. Закрытие банка стало катастрофой для многих корнуэльских семей. Джошуа Неллиган, один из владельцев, вскоре таинственно исчез. Последний раз его видели на яхте, готовящейся к отправке в Норвегию. Неллиган разыскивается полицией и кредиторами. Ага. Значит, тот парень это, я так понимаю, тот самый Неллиган, который... Кстати, я вроде бы кое-что забыл там сделать. Там, я нашел сапоги, надо к следу приставить. Я ведь правильно додумался об этом, да?
These boots don't match the footprints.
Маловато, что ли? Я что, зря сюда прибыл? Ну, круто, круто. Ладно. Давайте тогда поедем сюда. Ну, то есть, обратно, короче. Надо поговорить с Неллиганом. О, я ж тут совсем недавно был, этих тут не было. Ну-ка. Могу ли я здесь что-нибудь еще посмотреть?
These are the suspects.
Ладно. Куда еще можно сходить? Заперто нельзя.
Locked.
Закрыто. Вот он. Джон Неллиган. Это не тот вроде. Это не тот Неллиган. А, это его сын. Сын Неллигана. Ну-ка. Потертая кепка. Заплата. Дорогая ткань. Искусно сделанные пуговицы. Короткие рукава. Мозоли. Шрамы. Что-то тут... Что-то я пропустил. Тонкая шея. Зачем я это сделал, непонятно, но давайте.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes. Joshua Nelligan was my father.
Я так и знал.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan.
И как и ты узнаешь это?
The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
Врет,
The
наверное.
police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
Ну-ка. Правильно?
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Что неправильно? Давайте так.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
Ха-ха!
The jacket you are
Все-таки
wearing
второе
is made of
было,
an expensive
наверное.
fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell.
А,
from
вот
the
зачем
scars.
надо анализы проводить.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
Ну-ка. Так. Написная книжка Неллигана. Нет, 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 нет. Ага. Взломщик. Ага. Вину человека, предпринявшего эту попытку. Так, еще одна. Провести эксперимент.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Ладно. Чё по уликам? Спросить. А кого спросить? А, понял, кого спросить. Ну что ж, давайте на этом закончим. Подписывайтесь, оценивайте, ставьте лайки. Ждите следующей серии.